Hi. So I did make it out of the prairie finally. My computer was a great light, and I was just thankful that I had my computer because it got really, really dark and I didn't have a flashlight. And so I did a lot of thinking, while I was out there and sort of talking to God, about the whole light unto my path thing. Because when I turned my computer off, it was so dark that I couldn't see the road, the path, and then there was just like cactuses and stuff. And I was afraid of a mountain lion showing up. But I made it off, and I just washed my face, so I'm not sure what you're seeing, but you're seeing me in the raw. This is pretty raw for me, but I don't know. You're my friend. I wanted to share something with you that is very kind of weird and macabre, but I feel like God's saying something to me, and so I wanted to share it with you, okay? And since I try to keep these short, I'm going to try and go through it quickly. But all right, so I got this other little computer about a month ago, I guess, and I really like it. So in my geology class, I was doing a paper on Australia, and you can kind of see right here how I was doing some research, and I came to this particular page, which is ancient origins, and I look at this thing on the Aborigines, and then like right down here, this is like 2 days ago, I see this weird, the macabre bejeweled skeletons thing. I'm gonna see if this is exactly what I opened up. So of course I was interested in this. Had you ever heard of this? Where I thought it was just astounding. There it is. In 1578, the Roman catacombs near Via Salaria were discovered by curious vineyard workers and later fully uncovered by archaeologists, revealing a vast unearthly spectacle. Between 500,000 and 750,000 skeletons gaped ghostly up at them, the ancient remains of people believed to have lived in the century shortly after the time of Christ, during which thousands were killed, many of whom were considered to be martyrs of the faith. Encrusted with gold and jewels and adorned with fine fabric, many of the skeletons went on display in churches to convey the treasures. And so I actually read through this article, and I was astounded by this particular picture. This is so weird and macabre, and yet I feel like God is saying something about how I'm not even sure if I can say it right. Something about when you get down to the very, very death. Christ, he is in death. He's like the resurrection inside death. And these skeletons, I went on to read that thousands of them, they're like all over Europe. And tell me, I want to know if you know this already, because I didn't really know this. I kind of had heard little stories, and I've seen ossuaries and things like that. The Chupin, blah, 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 some kind of place in Rome. So there are like hundreds of these kinds of skeletons that are like all decorated, and they have jewels on them. And evidently it would take like up to a couple of years that people would painstakingly, they would put wax on these skeletons and put these jewels in them and dress them in clothes, and because they were martyrs. And then the Catholic Church has this kind of law that churches in Europe have relics, and so when these skeletons were unearthed, they were like dispersed all around Europe, and they're in churches in Germany and Austria and I don't know where else, but the thing is that it's like the Lord is maybe trying to tell me something about how Christ beautifies death. That death is like this thing that if we actually go there before we die, Christ can beautify it. But we, of course, we do what we can to avoid death. We don't want death. Everybody avoids death. Or, sometimes they're martyrs, but still death has the upper hand. But if you go there, I just feel like there's something about it, like we play a game here. I play my part in the resentment and the lie, because I don't want to be left in a lonely place or without help or love or whatever. But there might be a resurrection there that I can kind of see. And I'm sure that you're probably not understanding what I'm saying, because it's just crazy for me too. But you don't have to beautify yourself if you're in a place where you're being beautified. I don't know. Anyways, maybe more on that, because I can't really say it. I'm not saying it very well. Okay. Well, thank you. I really enjoyed the day with you today, because I kind of kept you with me, and you don't have to say anything, I don't guess, but I'm just kind of curious if you would. But anyways, I'm not going to expect that you do. I just thought that was just the most bizarre thing. We're talking thousands of these skeletons that are dressed up and bejeweled and on display, and what in the world is that all about? So I'm going to be thinking about that more. Okay.